Mm. Yeah, it looks good. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Whiskey Nose. I'm Marty. Jenny's in the other room working, but she'll be joining us here soon, I do believe. Yeah, Tim, I just wanted to kick it, man. Let's just kick it. It's going to be a big day, so big evening. So thanks for everybody coming on. Let's jump in the chat real quick. David, what's up, brother? Adam, Team Will, man. My twin brother, Tim, what's up? Cheech, good to see you, brother. Yeah, we're getting the party started. Clint Hickey, Doug, all right. Who else we got? Mikey Franklin in the house. Oh, yeah, man. Live wire, all right. This is awesome. Thanks for coming on, guys. Yeah, man, we got a big night. Will from the podcast is going to be joining us here shortly. Hey, Adam. So we're going to get it going. Been a pretty good weekend till this happened. Of course, you know, I'm the only one that gets injured while they're eating or trying to eat. Yeah, so it's a long story. But anyway, I'll survive. What's up, Dan? What's up with them guns? No, I mean, that's just, yeah, I appreciate it. He has legs for arms. Remember that in, what was that? That Mark Wahlberg, Will Ferrell Christmas movie? No, it wasn't the Christmas movie. It was the other one. Daddy's Home, the first one. Yeah, that's me. Keep your fingers away from your mouth. Dude, I'm telling you what, I put my hand down to climb into a booth, and it was a padded seat, and my finger jammed it, and I heard it go pow, and it tore that tendon right across the top. So my little finger's hanging like that. I'll hit the orthopedics up tomorrow, see what I can do about that, because this one is miserable. But yeah, man. Anybody drinking anything tonight? Let us know in the chat. Not yet. I'm gonna wait. I've got one right here, right there. I'm getting ready to crack. We've not cracked it yet. So we'll get into that one shortly. But yeah, that's really got some, like I said, some channel stuff, good stuff coming up. I think I still got on the map. We've got September, me and Shayla of Whiskey Central is going to do a stream. Me and Scotty, my bourbon journey is going to do one together, hopefully in the next week or two. Trev, Bourbon Wrench, we've got one scheduled. Not sure the date exactly yet. He's trying to work that out with doing the story time stuff. I think Mike mentioned it to a few people for me yesterday, but I've been talking to Adam from Smoke Wagon, and he said he'd be thrilled to do something. So, oh, man, I can't wait for that to happen. So if we can get Smoke Wagon on here, we'll see what we can do on some killer giveaways and stuff like that. Thought I broke a couple notes. I'm telling you what, man, when you get what it is, these have the readers at the bottom. So when I was looking down, the seat was closer than it was, and I jammed my hand down in it. Just ridiculous. It's so stupid. Chattanooga 111. Yeah, man, that's a killer bottle. Me and Cheech have tore it up before. I think Cheech has had the one. Yeah, I think that's right. But yeah, I love that bottle. But that's trying to think what else we know. That's really what's coming up for the channel. Planning on doing another stream. Like I said, we're going to keep it scheduled on Friday at 4:15ish for about 45 minutes or an hour. Just get the weekend started and everybody talk and you know, join in when you can, because a lot of people Central and West Coast are still working. So that's kind of Barrel Seagrass, man. I tell you what, Doug, that is a killer bottle. I've got it right up there. That's one of Jenny's. I got that for her for Mother's Day. That is a good bottle. So we need to tap into it more now that I look up there at it. We've not hit it a whole lot. That's actually the only barrel bottle we have. I need to get in some more of those for sure. Hey, Sugar Kitty, thanks for coming on. Yeah, that Seagrass is good stuff for sure. But yeah, that's what's happening. Let's see. New liquor. The Larceny barrel proof I've had for a couple weeks. I haven't touched it yet. Been saving it for actually saving it for last weekend, but Will had some things come up and had to reschedule that one. And then on the Friday stream, if y'all didn't see it, the Jim Beam Single Barrel 108. And we reviewed that, and then Kevin came over and he jumped on, and we got rid of the neck pour and basically said, don't. My opinion and my taste are different than everybody else, but this is a one and done for us. I thought it might be good because I love single barrel stuff, and it's not happening at all. So I let that one slide. I'm just kidding. The Dick Burns edition there. No, that's really about all I've got now new. Been talking to Daniel about getting some Scotch stuff going for the channel. I don't have much, and what he has sent me in sample wise, I really enjoy. So hopefully I'll be able to do some Scotch stuff come up, especially with Whiskey Central, because Shayla's really good at those and enjoys that. So I don't want to be a total moron when that happens, but I can't prevent that. But yeah, it's really about what's happening with us so far. Not a whole lot of new stuff. Things are really busy life-wise from like everybody else. Football season's getting ready to start up. Guess we've got right at 3 weeks, and daggone, my Tennessee Vols, they open up on a Thursday night at 8 p.m. That won't be making that trip. So, but I'm sure I won't, Bowling Green, we're not going to miss much. But yeah, Trey and Cindy should be jumping on here soon. There are organizers for all that. But yeah, guys, update on Patreon. If you're not subscribed to our Patreon, be happy to do so, man. It'd be awesome to have you. Basically, it just supports the channel. Everything I get in from Patreon goes right back out, almost all of it. Right now, all Patreon members are going to get a Kinsey or a Glen. I've got that coming hopefully late September. So hopefully by the end of September, 1st of October, everybody will have their glasses. Working on a new shirt site. That should be up in the next couple of weeks. I'm really excited about that. Been talking to Livewire Whiskey about some of the stuff they're doing, and we may collaborate a little bit more. But don't want to keep him waiting much longer. But everybody from the podcast, please welcome Will the Thrill.
Hey, how's it going? Hey, buddy. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, man, I'm so tickled you could do it, dude. I'm just so glad to have you on here, man.
And I appreciate the rain check. Last weekend, I got into a little bit of whiskey with a buddy and needed the day to recover on Sunday. So hey, I appreciate you giving me a punt to this week. So
that's a great problem to have, man. Don't worry about that at all. So how you been? How's things going down your way?
Good. I actually just got back from the county fair tonight. So we took my almost 4-year-old daughter, and we're out in the 90-degree weather and got her in bed, and here I am. So had a really, really fun Sunday afternoon.
That's awesome, man. Thanks. Like I say, man, once again, thanks for taking the time. There's some things, I just want to talk to you about because, everybody now, I think that's in the whiskey community is really, especially after all your whiskey weekends and everything. And then Psycho Grease, as I call him to my friends, doing what he did in the madness, the podcast has really taken off. And I really enjoy watching and learning from you all and seeing what all y'all got coming up and stuff. So the thing I wanted to do was get to know Will better. And basically what I mean by that is, what got you into bourbon? When was that? And do you remember that pour that made you say, this is okay. I like this. It maybe kicked my beer habit. That's kind of the way it was for me.
Yeah. So the very first adult beverage I had at college was ordered for me by my cousin, and it was a bourbon and Coke at the bar. And so I had a nostalgic attraction to ordering a bourbon and Coke, and it was Jim Beam, I believe. I think he said, "I'll have a Beam and Coke." But having a bourbon and Coke as opposed to a Jack and Coke or something like that, for some reason I attached to that. I was like, yeah, that's going to be my thing. And I would drink that as a mixed drink, for forever. And then as I adulted a little bit more and started trying to have it neat, trying to have it on the rocks every once in a while, but really gravitated towards bourbon just for that nostalgia and linking onto it psychologically in a way early on in my college days. But I would say that Maker's Mark was probably my gateway into drinking it neat, having it I think the weeded bourbon was an easier way to get into it. So I didn't know that at the time that there was anything different about Maker's Mark as opposed to anything else, but it
Sure.
tasted a little softer and was more palatable when I couldn't necessarily drink things too high of proof or anything like that at the time.
Well, I mean, that's just kind of a really down to earth, easy way to do it. And for me, it was my dad. My dad, when I was growing up, my God, it was white label George Dickel only. And I'm only like 4 hours from you in Grease, up northeast, and so Jack and George, it's everywhere you can be. You go here, and so they have. I bet my dad has, I don't know how many cases of half-gallon Dickel in his basement, and that's what it was starting out for me. And I always thought I didn't care for it because it was too sweet. It was just, I was like, oh my God. I mean, and then they would always do it with Diet Coke and stuff. And then as he got older, he had people just like us, introduce us to, finer, better aged and different type of whiskeys. And Dad doesn't like really anything that's blended a whole lot. He doesn't like hardly anything finished, but he loves Blanton's. He loves Elmer. I mean, he likes the really good stuff. So we, about 4 years ago, we were there for Christmas, and he's like, "Here, dude, I want you to try this." I was like, "Okay," and thanks for calling me dude, Dad. But and I tried it, and I was like, whew. He goes, "No, I want you to try it 3 times." And that's all it took was the second and third time to bust the heat, to bust the alcohol side of it and get some flavor. He goes, "Now do it one more time and tell me if you taste this." That's all it took. Game over. Here I sit, trying to have a damn YouTube channel with this stuff. So, but that's basically, that's my story. And it seems to be like that with a lot of other people. And, it may not be your dad, but it may be, like your college buddies and stuff like that. That just kind of gets you to just try it once, so that's the thing. When anytime I have somebody come by the house here and they see what's that? I want to make sure that it's available here. Try it. I don't care if it's in the glass cabinet or back here, it's open,
Yeah.
That's the thing. So that kind of leads me into, the things you all do at Whiskey Weekend. You have the opportunity with what you and Grease and the other folks do to give people the opportunity to try stuff that normally they can't ever get their hands on or may never see, because of where they live or they're whatever they can afford to buy. It just gives them a great opportunity. But yeah, talk, a little bit about Whiskey Weekend, man. I think that's really, really cool. And what's coming up this year with it? I mean, anything new, different? Well, you've got new people coming. I think is Chad and Sarah. Is that right?
Yeah. So Chad and Sarah will be, this will be their 3rd Whiskey Weekend. We invited them to come to the 2nd one at Beaumont Inn. And then we had them back this year back in April, and then they'll be coming back again. They are, we're Chad and Sarah, because they started their YouTube channel around the same time we started our podcast. We're kind of kindred spirits. They just hit their 5-year anniversary. We hit our 5-year anniversary back in May, and we've gotten to know them really well outside of just connecting online and things at some events. And they really have a heart for the community aspect, which is what we love about it. And so the 2nd Whiskey Weekend, we're like, hey, you guys just need to come just to experience a little bit of this. And they loved it. And so they're going to be a part of it, I think, going forward, that they're they really get it, what we're doing. And it kind of goes back to what you were talking about with your dad was the one that introduced you to whiskey, and like my cousin that, bought me a bourbon and Coke at college. The Whiskey Weekend, people see on social media, which is the best marketing we could, ask for the weekend, is people showing the cool pours they're having the 3 different BTACs and 18-year marriage and CYPB in one tasting, or Dixon Deadman blending something for everyone that will never be had again. Those are whiskey nerd experiences that we get excited about. But if you ask any participant, anyone that goes to Whiskey Weekend, the thing they're going to walk away with beyond the pours are the people. And so, yes, we're going to provide an experience where you're getting your money's worth with the unique, crazy, rare, expensive pours. But the intangible is the best friends that you walk away with. And that's what it's all about. It's that someone's bringing you into this. Like you were saying, your dad or my cousin. That's the entire point of whiskey for us, is that you're at a weekend and you walk away more enriched with better friends, with a fuller life than you did before you got there. And so that's what we aim to do. And we've succeeded 3 years in a row so far. So we'll keep trying to that goal.
Well, it's kind of like, me and Grease were talking about it, I guess 2 weeks ago. That when Sunday rolls around at Whiskey Weekend, I've not had the opportunity yet, but maybe that'll happen for me here soon. But me and Grease were talking about it, that it's like Sunday morning, about 10 or 11ish, that depression starts to sit in because everybody starts going their own little way again. It's like, maybe I'll see you next year kind of thing. That family, that friend, relationship that you've developed over the last 4 days it doesn't get put on hold, but the face-to-face, togetherness, just that depression sets in. And I know what that feels like. And that means you've succeeded. That weekend's a success.
What we Grease and I refer to it all the time as adult summer camp, because it's that feeling you had as a kid when you met a new best friend that lives 2 states away at summer camp. And that feeling of like, I know I've got a friend, but I know I'm about to miss this friend. Yeah. That's that feeling. And you have it as an adult. Now, fortunately, we're adults and we have more means to communicate and stay in touch and see these people again. And one of the things we love to see is people that met through the podcast or met through Whiskey Weekend, when they're texting me and Grease, look who I just met up with in Salt Lake City, or look who I just met up with in Denver. Yeah. And that wouldn't happen if it weren't for the whiskey and the community that gathers around. These people would never have met each other. And they are now a very integrated part of each other's lives. And that just makes it all worth it to me.
Yeah. That's what's so cool, man. And I know that thrill of when you're 2 weeks away from Whiskey Weekend, you're a week away, that thrill of the anticipation starts setting in. And I think that's a success, man. And I'm sure everybody else that goes feels that same anticipation. And I just think that's where you can put the big check mark besides it's a success. I think that's awesome.
And, so I think that before, sorry to cut you off, but it wouldn't be a success if it was only about us setting up booths where people could go and try
a trade show.
It wouldn't be what it is. And it would not have grown. It wouldn't be something that we keep expanding the cap on participants and it still sells out in 24 hours. So we're happy to continue to do this because we know the people that come really get it. So.
Yeah. So, okay. I got to ask you because I was dying to ask Grease when he was on and he gave me a good answer. Okay. If you can remember, and it's okay if you can't, has been your best pour somebody's either brought you or you brought or somehow you got at Whiskey Weekend? That one you're like, holy shit, this is it. I can't believe I'm holding this. Does that happen for you there?
It happens nonstop, but I will say, one, we're fortunate that the people that come and attend, not just the people like Dixon or Joshua Steely from Buffalo Trace that come and share incredible whiskey, but people in the bottle shares bring. I've forgotten more legendary pours than I can remember because people keep bringing them up constantly. But I know there was sometimes it's not even the like out there rare, which happens often, but our buddy Travis Gintz brought me up a store pick of just Buffalo Trace that was out of this world. But just standard Buffalo Trace, brought it up and poured it up for me, and before the weekend got kicked off. And it was really good. And he let me keep the bottle to drink on throughout the weekend. So that was a really memorable time, a touch point with a good friend. But also Dixon may or may not have let us try Dry State before it was released last year. So that was kind of a crazy moment as well. He's like, hey, I got something for y'all to try. So he tried it over, poured it up, and it was Kentucky Owl Dry State pre-release. So that was a cool moment as well.
Wow. So now with, it's sometimes I think about this because, I've been to Shane Long's house a couple times, and we've done a lot of drinking together, and some of the awesome bottles he has, and the few that I've shared and stuff. And there comes a point to where, in my opinion, it's now not about owning a bottle; it's about enjoying the taste. And what I mean by that is, it's like I'm asking, if somebody comes up and says, "Here, Will, you got to try this," and you're like, "Oh my God!" It's about that taste,
Right.
Of course, he gave you the bottle, but it's, to me, it's about I've never tried that. That's kind of where I am in my journey. It's like I just want to try that, and if it's great, maybe I have the opportunity to buy it sometime. But that, I think Whiskey Weekend, from everything that I've learned and talked to people, that really provides a whole lot of that, for people that just said, hey, I just want to try it. Boom. Here's here's a sample of it. Have at it. That's something that I think is pretty awesome, that people have the opportunity. And I don't know, everybody's journey is different. And that's just, after some of the stuff I've been fortunate enough to try. That's where my brain is. I don't have to own everything anymore. My wife may disagree, but
another memorable pour was this past Whiskey Weekend. Dan and Julie Light gave Grease and I a sample of Michter's 25, something that I would never even imagine owning a bottle of, much less finding it at a establishment to even order a pricey pour of. But they gave us the sample, and they wanted to be with us when we tried it, and they wanted it to be earlier in the day so that we would remember it, which were, that's a tall feat, of Whiskey Weekend, trying to find that time when it would be that. But I mean, just like you're saying, the Grease gets FOMO much easier than I do. If he's like, oh, I gotta have this taste again. Me, I'm like you. I think I can just sit there and enjoy it and really savor that moment and try to remember it as long as possible as well. But I like the flavor. I like the experience of tasting the whiskey, not just owning the whiskey.
I mean, and I'll find myself, I'll get my phone out and I'll take a picture of the bottle. So I because I'm not smart enough to remember. And then I'll be like, hey, that was the one, that's the one 2 weeks ago. I want you to try to find or try. Mm-hmm. Hey, Will, I want to bring a good buddy of mine in from a channel that's on YouTube called Livewire Whiskey. I hope you've seen Livewire. Good friend of mine, Mike Stahl.
What's happening? I was on mute. Can you hear me?
Yeah, buddy. We hear you good.
Hey, Will. How are you?
Good. How you doing, Mike?
Good. I was going to add, too, I think it's almost not even as much the whiskey as it is meeting all the people, and, just having a pour with Dan and Julie Like is almost as impressive as that, Michter's.
That's for sure. For sure.
Last night I was going to order the 10-year Michter's until this happened at the restaurant we were at, so that kind of killed that plan.
Do you normally drink 10-year Michter's with your finger?
Well, yeah, because I was afraid I'd drop it.
He has to have his
just slide
out,
through. Dude, it's ridiculous now when I'm trying to. It's just bad.
Yeah,
There's no doubt about it. It's just bad. Oh, there's a chat for you there, Will.
Thanks, Matt.
Well,
I appreciate you, Porter.
Yeah.
hey, Tim Evans.
Yeah, man. Tim Evans in the house. Awesome. But Will, behind you, I see a lot of bottles.
Mm.
Is there a go-to there right now? I know everybody's go-tos change. So he's got it hands within arm's reach.
Well, no, I opened this last night. So my wife has actually started getting into whiskey. And I poured this for her last night. She's like, hey, can we get a nightcap before we go to bed? We went to dinner with some friends, had a good time. But so I went and I opened this last night, and this is Hancock's President's Reserve. And so I poured it up for her, and she's like, oh, what'd you pour me? I said, oh, it's something. She goes, do I like it? I go, this is the first whiskey you tried and you liked. Neat. And so she was like, that is so sweet. But it's open. And as I open things, I tend to drink through them. So this, and I have in a decanter some just standard Buffalo Trace. And typically, unless I'm wanting to, really taste on it, if I just want to have a pour, I'll grab either what's in the decanter at the moment or something that's a little bit lower proof. So this Hancock's is good because you can sit with it a while and not let it get away from you.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, do you have that bottle I sent you? I don't have the bottle anymore. All mine are in the decanter. I want Will to see it and see what he thinks of this.
Gotta hide my face. There we go.
Oh, yeah. I think I have that right behind me, actually.
100, what is it, 122?
122.6.
Let me look at my cabinet. I think I have that.
Sure. That's right now, that's my go-to. If I have time to stay up because of the proof. But it's a hitter, man. I love it.
I know we had to come out with a rule specifically for Marty.
Yeah.
On Livewire Whiskey that at 11 o'clock his time he goes to bed.
Yep. I can't do it.
I can't find the bottle at the time because
that's all right.
thought I had all those in there. But yeah, I love those. I love those tasters. I love the allspice barrel.
Yes, I've got the Jamaican allspice.
Yeah.
That and Daniel H sent me the wine finish. I think wine barrel finish. Yeah. It's really good.
So I'm going on Tuesday to the Old Elk distillery little party that they're having because they're coming out with 4 of the finished Old Elk picks, and Greg's going to be there, and that should be pretty fun. Get some.
What were those? Do you remember what the picks were, Mike?
What the finishes were?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah,
they were
finishes.
Yeah, they are. Hold on.
My mic stand just fell apart, so I'm muting myself for a second just to fix it.
Yeah, buddy. Do what you need to do.
Look over here. Gmail has been acting super weird lately. Okay, it was. No. I'm here somewhere.
There we go. I fixed it. So is it the Old Elk bourbon finished, or is it their wheat whiskey? What are they finishing?
Yeah, so they're finishing. They have 4 new finishes. It's the Armagnac cask finish.
Oh, nice.
Cognac cask finish, Oloroso sherry, and the port cask finish.
Oh, cool. The port might be the best one. Just guessing. From
Are
what
you a big
all the
port
other
finish fan?
I like the Chattanooga whiskey one.
That one is good.
I also like the Haystack port finish. That was pretty good.
Jay Bowman is good.
Get turned off by the port finishes for some reason across the board.
They can sometimes
and get too syrupy sometimes to me.
That and a bit. I don't know if it's a bitter note or a sour note. Sometimes you're just like, ugh.
Yeah.
It just does. If you have it before or after something, if it's not what you open up with, sometimes it hits me wrong. They're 120 off the shelf. Ended up getting shit.
Which one are you drinking? Marty?
I'm drinking. I just cracked open. Me and Will were talking a minute ago. I cracked open the barrel proof Larceny.
Oh yeah,
Oh, nice.
the B521.
Yes,
So is that the best?
it's the only one I've ever had, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
So to me, yes.
I haven't seen that one yet here.
I saw two yesterday at a different store that I actually had my wallet at. I didn't tell Will about that predicament.
The only one I've ever found in Colorado was on Drizzly.
Really?
Yeah. Daveco put it on in their inventory, and I happened to be looking the right time.
And they had it like when you ordered.
And they sent it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a few times something that got placed on inventory, ordered it, and you get either the call or the are you okay with this replacement? It's like, no, the Evan Williams is not a replacement for that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Jeez. So Will, what's coming up with you and Grease on the podcast? Anything cool that you can talk about, or just
tomorrow night we are actually going to have our wives on.
So the ratings will be through the roof.
Yeah, but it also may be the last time we ever have a show. So they agreed to it. Like I said, my wife's actually been getting into whiskey, and we'll see how it goes.
Did she join Women of Whiskeys on Facebook?
I don't think she has. No, she tries to lurk in the background on the Facebook presence, but she she'll be like, go pour me something, and so we've been going through some stuff. The thing that did it for her, though, how she started really being able to drink it, and this goes back to what you were talking about earlier, Marty, about, like your dad said, drink it 3 times, it was actually a glassware thing.
Huh.
She did not drink out of any sort of snifter or Glencairn or anything like that glass. It's too much on her. I mean, she's got a great nose. So, but it's like, it's so sensitive to the aroma and the alcohol that it's like, now I need it to be muted a little bit more. So she can drink it. She can pick up notes and stuff like that, just drinking out of a rocks glass, but it cannot be out of anything that's tulipped up, pushing the vapor up to her nose. So,
Well, I mean, hell, it may be too much. It may just let the alcohol. It's all she's getting. It's
100% it.
Yeah, sure.
My nephew pours Jack Daniels into a glass of water, like a tall glass of water. And that's how he drinks his whiskey. I'm like, It's not even whiskey. Like, I can't even imagine what that tastes like.
That's so good.
He can't handle it when it's like full, but he'll guzzle the water. Like, he'll drink the water fast, but yeah.
So Mike, what's coming up on Livewire?
So tonight we actually have a pretty cool show coming out. We are doing first of all, for those of you that don't know, I would be shocked because we kind of share pretty much the same viewers as you, but we have Lil and Chris Tats from down in Australia actually sent us a pick, and it was a 4 Roses pick that they had a friend that helped pick it that died of colon cancer shortly after the pick. And so they sent it to Whiskey Shits and I to have a toast with them. So we're going to be doing that. We're doing a giveaway. We have an Elmer T. Lee to give away, I believe is what Adam procured for our giveaway tonight. So we're doing that tonight. That's what we're doing. And we are working on actually starting to create some content that's not only lives. So to this point, we've done all lives only. Marathon live only, but so we're going to have some content that's coming out.
Yeah, DC, if you could put the link to the podcast up for everybody that's not sub, please do so. We need to drop the link to their merch.
Also, if anyone is watching currently from, I posted in our podcasters group and thing, if anyone is watching that's from our group that's not already subbed here and has not given a thumbs up, I'm disappointed in you. So go ahead and share the love. Give a subscribe and a thumbs up on this. So.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. But anyway, okay, Will, gotta ask you, how did you and Grease meet? Where did that friendship start?
Reason I met
Grindr.
it was the summer of
Just kidding, Will. Will's like, you don't know me.
summer of 2006. We both had like a summer job in Nashville where we now both live. That we did like a promotion and stuff at music festivals on the road, it was like the hottest summer in like all the way across the country that I've ever experienced. And we were in like Minnesota in the summer and it was like 105 outside. So it was brutal, but we met that summer and had a good time and we're driving around in a van and doing that kind of life. And then we just stayed friends and now we even work together now and obviously do the podcast and here we are. So it's been a long friendship, but a productive one as well.
So was it your idea to start the podcast?
Yeah. So
I knew it.
I went up to Grease and I said, hey, we're gonna start recording a show about whiskey. And the worst thing I ever said to him was, we're going to record it. It's not going to be live. So just like, I just don't want you to hold back. Whatever pops in your head, I want you to say
there it is.
And so that was the worst piece of advice I've ever given anyone because it created so much work for me over the years. But
you know what? I never thought about it from that side of it. But
yeah.
You guys have like a safe word?
No, I tried that. Doesn't work. Nothing works. So he just keeps going.
All right.
He sees a safe word as a challenge.
Yeah, he's like, challenge accepted. Or challenge accepted.
Exactly.
Yep. That's right. So let me ask you this, Will, because I'm down your way a whole lot. I still attend Vanderbilt. I have a checkup there every few months. I'm now, I think, at once a year. But I do a lot of whiskey hunting in your area. Do you get most of your stuff outside of where you live?
Well,
because I don't want anybody to say, well, no, I shop only at this store. That's not what I'm trying to get you. You know, I've not found anything around
Basically, what store can Marty call and say, Will sent me?
Yeah.
Well, the good thing is we're in a bourbon club that is through a store here called Red Dog, which does really fantastic picks. They always have a lot of single barrels out, so they always have those. But that's one of the main things is that if they have a pick that may be sold out quickly, the bourbon club gets first dibs. They do a big drawing at the end of the year for the major allocated stuff, and then let's see, they like throughout the year we'll get an email like Russell's 13 hit, right? And they got a case of it and they're like, okay, say in if you want in and we'll do a drawing for who gets right to purchase. So it's nice. I don't get everything that lands there by any means, but it gives me like a 1 in 75 chance as opposed to having to go hit a bunch of stores or have a bunch of different type stuff like that. So
yeah, we still, though, I think I speak for you and Mike as well. We still want to develop the long-term relationships with those store owners and those managers. And I think one of the best pieces of advice I've ever been given about how to, almost immediately develop like, hey, I'm not messing around here when I come in here, and I do buy stuff is pick up a bottle. Mm-hmm. That might not be something that you're dying to have, but it's something that you would have on your shelf and go to the owner and say, hey, have you tried this? No, I haven't. We just got that in. And you say, if I buy it and open it, will you try it with me? Because I'm learning. Mm-hmm. Boom. That's it. Do it. That proves, hey, I'm serious about buying. That proves I'm serious about coming back. And I trust you. So to me, I think that's a big deal.
Have you been down to Elixir Wine and Spirits? Jason Newman just mentioned it. Jason's a good buddy of ours, but it's down in Spring Hill, and Tarak Patel is the owner of it, and he's a great man, awesome, really good friend. But you also have to plan like 4 to 5 hours to visit his shop because he'll keep pouring for you. He will
Well,
pour all day long. So,
well, in December, that'll be
And
a
you
definite
Uber there.
stop.
yeah, a lot of people do. Grease calls it getting to rocked when you go down there because it's a marathon, not a sprint. So,
No, that's going to be a definite spot for us to, because it's usually me and Jenny. We're down there for 2 or 3 days. We usually hit, until stupid COVID, we'd always hit the ice sculptures,
Sure.
over at Opryland, and we'd do that, and then we always stay in Franklin. And, so I told Grease, I said, I'm going to come and erase the wall. I mean, right on the wall next time we're there. So,
we'd love to hang out.
That'd be a lot of fun.
I would, but Jason Aldean and, some of the other guys like it when I stop by.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah. So you've got other places to go and people to see.
When you can listen to the radio like I do, everybody wants to be.
You mean, hey, Mike? No, you mean when you sing the way you do?
Yeah, I mean, I sing. I mean, I'm an amazing singer when I'm in the truck by myself. Just so you know, I don't hold back.
Yeah. I'm George Strait all day long when I'm by myself. That's for damn sure. So, Will, where are you with this? Just kind of random because I love them so much. This year's Elijah Craig barrel proofs. Do you have a favorite?
So I think the only one I've had is the A batch of this year. I haven't had the B, and then C's not out, right?
No,
C will be next month,
September, right?
Yeah,
I've just had the A batch, so I haven't tried B. So my favorite of the year is
the one you've had,
A121. So,
yeah, the B batch is the 521. It's the 118 proof. And I really like it. I really do. It really, me and Daniel H were talking, when you try it, and of course, you're a lot more established than we are, but when it goes down on the back end, it just kind of soothes and goes away, which I find that kind of nice. It's very unique and different from what we've had before. And I guess last month when I had Bernie Lubers on from Heaven Hill, me and DC was probably doing it better than I was, but we were trying to hint on what was coming for the C921. And he said he had no idea, but he says, basically all those barrels are in the same place of the rick house, the same spot, everything. And that's just, they pull different, in that area. And he goes, hell, you may have 127 proof, you may have 131, you may have 116. He goes, they don't know. And I found that interesting.
I did think it was interesting that he said they also don't want them to be the same.
Right.
So he's like, they want each one to be different. They don't want the same Elijah Craig barrel proof each time.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess what would be the point, right? Of doing 3 releases a year that are labeled, if you're going to just have a consistent profile. Like you could, in theory, just make it a small batch, release it a couple times a year, just when you pull the barrels, but streamline the process and they can make things taste real dang close to each other when they want to.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it makes sense when you're going to label it and that you want to have some difference to the characteristics of the things they're pulling if you're going to release it on a schedule like that.
Yeah.
And I think I pick up an Elijah Craig barrel proof, and it's, if I hadn't had any of the other ones, unlike Booker's, I have had a couple of shitters. Excuse my language, Marty. But most of them, I love Booker's. They're one of my favorite brands. But the Elijah Craig barrel proof, I'll grab it and I'll be like, oh damn, that's good. You know what I mean? Like if you compare them, you'll find a favorite. But I think you pick any from the last 2 years, and you'll be like, oh, it's good.
Yeah, Bookers can come across really raw and really aggressive sometimes, and that's they're putting in their half the age of whiskey that they're putting in that Heaven Hill's putting in their Elijah Craig's. So when you're getting the maturity that can cut some of those edges off, kind of soften it a little bit, that proof's still there, but it's not gonna. You're not fighting with it the whole time.
I think that's the bitterness that's created towards Bookers right now. Is you get that 6.5 year Bookers for $90 versus although it's what 80, 85, I think for most of them now for the Elijah Craig barrel proofs in a lot of the country, but still it's
I think
you're getting twice the age for the same price or worse.
I think Booker's, in my opinion, is overpriced by at least $25.
Yeah, and that was their big PR
You try it, Adam.
kerfluffle a few years back when they raised it real fast and they had to dial it back and then they had to step it up, and now it's basically where they had raised it to.
Yeah.
Which it's probably a little bit overpriced, but I mean, I get some batches of that I just absolutely love, regardless of the age statement on it.
I do too.
But I tend to agree. It makes me think twice about buying it because of the age, knowing that you can get some really good whiskey, you can get some really good high proof whiskey for a little bit less, and that would probably top it. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird to me that I can put a Booker's release on my palate, and that oil will just immediately just go, oh, and then you get the next release, and there's hardly any there. You're like, what? That's why I bought it. I want that cream, and it's not consistent to me. And I know
we should definitely keep talking about Bookers because we have struck a nerve with Top Shelf Dustin.
Yeah,
I don't think there's a finer whiskey out there than Bookers. To be quite frank, I think that I'd buy one Bookers over 3 Knob Creek single barrels personally.
Yeah, I will agree with them that those single barrel Knob Creeks are freaking amazing at $50. Like, it's hard to.
Yeah, it's a very weird pricing structure over at Beam. Like, what they value or think is valuable isn't what the consumer necessarily.
I'm wondering how much Booker's would cost without the box.
Right.
The boxes are those
now, I will boxes? Say though, the stocks of the Knob Creek single barrels when we were getting the 14 and 15-year-old, even 12-year consistently, now that you're seeing a lot of 9-year and everything, they're still good, but I like a lot of batches of Bookers that are crafted and curated regardless of the age statement on it, that I think are significantly better than some of those single barrels that are at 9 years personally. But yes, podcasters are definitely worthless. I will definitely put my stamp of approval on that. Top Shelf.
YouTubers are in that same place. Like, we may never be right, but we always have an opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's one that's coming out now where I'm at. Let me tell you what I did yesterday, Will. Mike knows I had to basically call him on the phone to tell him what a move I made. I drove from where I live in Kingsport to Knoxville, is about an hour and 20 minutes. So there's a good little on the side of the road store there that has a lot of Obtainiums, Nassau Family Reserves, Wilderness. They got a lot of good stuff. So I got up yesterday morning and I was like, you know what? I'm going to run down there and see what they got, because that Yellow Wax Canadian whiskey that you all have, it's been hitting up this way.
Mm-hmm.
And I was asking Grease and stuff about it. And I said, I'm just going to ride down the road. So I drive an hour and 20 minutes down there, and I pull in the parking lot, put it in park, and I look around. No wallet. Not a damn way. So I go in, and everybody's like, well, did you ask them about it? They didn't take Apple Pay. Nothing. They're just still kind of old school, the punch cash register. So I went in there, and they had like 4 cases of the Canadian whiskey, and they still had like 8 cases of Obtainium Hazmat. They had 5 bottles of the Nassau Family Reserve that I love, and I was just Redwood Empires everywhere, and I'm like, damn it. So I just got in the car, drove back to Kingsport. Then I go to dinner and do this. So it's been a hell of a weekend, So
well, I see Grease was probably talking you into going to getting it, but I would say I think you it was faithful
it was $200
that you left your wallet. You saved $200. So
that's
everybody's kind of told them that same thing. Like,
I did good by leaving it there. I don't know, but that was just made me damn mad.
I think a lot of American
gas.
A lot of like North American whiskeys, I should say, not American, but North American whiskeys at 27 years can be a little bit overdone.
Well, the problem with that one is not overdone. It's that it's essentially light whiskey, so it's in a used barrel, and to me, it didn't. The 27 didn't taste that much different than the 16.
That's right.
I think it just hits a point where it runs out of things to pull out of the wood when you've got a used barrel. So
Yeah.
It's just,
I would get a $60 16-year light whiskey from the same company and save $140.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. If I had the wallet, I probably would have bought it. But now looking back, my daughter may end up down there in the next 5 to 7 days, and I may have her pick me up just a bottle of Obtainium and those Nassau Family Reserves. I love those bottles.
Yeah, it's a great pour for $40. You know?
That's exactly what it is too. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think and there's light whiskey in that in the blend,
right?
And then I think there's a rye and something else. Is that right, Mike? Read the back.
I think there's a young bourbon in it too.
Yeah, the base is a well-aged light whiskey distilled to a higher proof than bourbon and aged in used oak. Man, they do it in cursive, and apparently I'm like my son.
No, it's hard to read. Yeah, but it's a rye. Yeah,
they had a high rye bourbon and rye whiskeys.
Gotcha.
This is batch 6.
Did you see what DC said, Mike?
Kansas, yep.
That's funny.
Oh, we got Lord Schlong in the house.
Yeah.
Story time.
So, Mike, I was going to ask you last night, when you go, well, I guess this goes for Will too, both of you. When was the first time you've walked into a liquor store or I guess package store, whatever the hell you want to call it, and you go up to the shelf and you see a bottle and you know what that bottle is, and you say to yourself, "Holy shit, there it is," and then you realize it's affordable. Do you remember that point in your whiskey career? I guess.
So I remember it was like November of last year. Believe it or not, was probably the best example of this. Colorado allowed restaurants to start selling bottles. And so I made friends with the manager at the Stanley Hotel up in Estes Park. Excuse me. And so I, he's like, "Oh, I've got the New Year bourbon, from barrel, I'm trying to get rid of it." And they're trying to turn it over, right? Because cash flow is a huge problem during COVID. And so I'm like, "Oh, okay." And he takes me into his vault. Right? Like for their wine and spirits, they had a huge vault. And so half of it was wine. And then like the other, the other 2/3 of the other half was whiskey. And then they had like, tequilas and other stuff, but it was mostly whiskey. And he's like, "Oh, I can't sell you the Pappy." He goes, "Oh, I've got a Van Winkle Family Reserve rye I can give you, or I can sell you." And then he's like walking towards the back. And I'm like, "How much for the rye?" And he's like, "I can get rid of it for like $140 if you have to." And then he's like, "Or, you can go get this E.H. Taylor single barrel. I've got some of these others." And I'm like, "Oh," and I'm trying to play it cool. I'm like, "Okay, so we got the Family Reserve rye here for $140. And I'm like, "Okay, I'll take the barrel for sure." And then I'm like, I'll just grab that Van Winkle rye too. And he's like, "All right, cool." And so that was like, that was that moment where it was like, I didn't have to work for this at all.
That's awesome.
And then, I was friends with him, and he, I ended up getting a George T. Stagg, a CYPB from him. So it was like, and then he left the restaurant, so I don't get anything from him anymore. But yeah, it was, I was bummed out.
That sucks.
Yeah, it was my honey hole that, he was like, "You can't post on Facebook that you got it here."
Sure.
And I was like, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Yeah, if the distributors found out I sold that bottle, they would be mad at me." He goes, "So post a picture. Don't tell anybody where you got it. That's fine."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I have a moment like that, but I made a poor decision in the end. So I was in a small town in Kentucky, and they had Booker's Rye, and it was about $100 over retail. And I didn't buy it because it was $100 over retail. And so I was like, man, it's a little bit much. And I have kicked myself at least twice a week for that decision ever
And
since
was
then.
this before like we knew what that bottle was going to be? Or
It was like during the release period, like when it was out. And so it was still like highly sought after. But it was kind of like, oh man.
But it wasn't like that unicorn that we knew
right,
it was 6
right.
months later.
So I'm like, it's $100. And it wasn't long after that it took off. So
and the beauty of that Van Winkle, so that's the only bottle I don't send samples out of, what I have here, because my wife was with me and like she was the one that looked up secondary value on it. And when she found out like secondary was like $2-3 grand, she's like, I'm like, oh, should I sell it? And she's like, what are you going to drink a $3,000 bottle of whiskey? You're going to crack that open with our son-in-law when he brings our grandbaby out. So I was like, all right, that's cool.
Way to go.
Yeah. Yeah, she does not she doesn't want me buying until I kill bottles, a lot of times, but those special ones, like she doesn't want them sitting there unopened. They're not a resale target for her. She's like, you need to try that, see what you think.
Oh, that's
and I always tell her, I'm like, I do not want to die with that bottle sitting on my shelf unopened. That would really upset me.
Good point.
I mean, the death is much less important than the wasted bottle.
And the wasted whiskey, right?
Yeah.
It's about the experiences you share with other people.
Yeah, so I think that was kind of circling back to when I first joined. We went to Schlong's house for the Schlammering. And I think, we had amazing whiskey, right? Like we had all the old Carters, Four Gates, freaking Haystack, which the Haystack Needle might have been my favorite pour of the weekend. But
Midwinters.
Midwinters. Those kind of things. But it was really just kind of hanging out with everybody that made the weekend more than the whiskey. The whiskey, there's always going to be more whiskey. I think that's kind of the point of story time, that Shane and, Big League Bourbon are starting is, there's always going to be more whiskey, but the stories that we have that we tell and, that the distillers tell, I think that's kind of the important part of what we do, what we're drinking.
So Will, are you and Grease, do y'all, I'm still trying to learn and get the concept of a lot of this stuff. Do you all do barrel picks for your people or for Patreons or anything like that with the podcast?
We've only done one pick directly for our patrons, and that was a Staves and Grain rye that we did. It was like 8.5-year-old MGPs. Fantastic. One of the best ryes I've had in a long time. And we did that directly. And there was a way that we worked with a shop in New Jersey that shipped it out to everyone. So that was very easy and convenient and legal and cost effective. So it was a good way to do that. But we do work with a lot of stores in the area that we're good friends with, like Don Norman out at Fairview Fine Wines and Liquors in Fairview, Tennessee, and Tarak down at Elixir, and folks at Red Dog and things like that. And we'll do picks with them, and we'll get heads up of people that want to get it first, and then also they'll do it through their retail as well. But so we're not as barrel pick heavy as a lot of other channels and things are, but we do them quite often with our local retailers that we're good friends with. So
okay, yeah, because that'd be really cool, man. I'd like to get in on that if next time y'all do a pick or something.
And also the best way to do it is in our podcasters group. Typically, if we do something with Don out at Fairview or at Elixir, we'll run a list too, of hey, we got this coming in. We got this Eagle Rare, the shark repellent that DC was just talking about. That's the Staves and Grain pick that we did. But if we do one with Don, we'll run a list and he'll hold them back, and we figure out ways to get them to people if they're not local. So the podcasters group on Facebook is the best way to find out about them typically. So.
Do you, because I have had a lot of trouble in the past getting stuff shipped in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have issues with that, or what am I doing something wrong?
No,
like I'm doing barrel clubs and stuff.
Yeah.
And
other than your audio video, Marty? Just kidding.
It's just, I just want to know if I'm, because I know people do receive stuff through clubs, and anytime I've signed up, I'm in one of those states I can't. And
Yeah.
I guess I don't know if I'm doing something totally wrong or
It's odd because it seems like some clubs and even like wine clubs and things like that, I know that friends are a part of. Some are like, no, Tennessee's one that you can ship to. And then others are like, no, Tennessee's one that you can't ship to. So I think it's a hodgepodge, or maybe the state isn't clear enough with the retailers. But I agree with Adam. We have some funky laws in the state with our 3-tiered system. And
yeah, we have 3-tier here as well, but we can get shipping to Colorado.
Yeah, and I think it's partially where are you again? Remind me.
I'm in Colorado.
Yeah, so I think Colorado is more lenient, or at least has on the record like you can ship here.
Yeah.
Whereas our distributors are like, no, hold up.
Let's just all agree
out.
We're glad we don't live in Utah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You have to drive to Wyoming to get things shipped. So I know people that do it.
Whiskey Shits just sends it to me, and then I freight forward.
Yeah. So it's kind of it's a weird thing in Tennessee. I agree with you that sometimes it seems like it's not going to be a problem. The staves and grain pick that we did, there was no problem getting it shipped here. So, but I think it just depends on the retailer and how closely they're reading the state law. So,
hey, Will, the link DC put up for joining the Facebook group, is that the link that will give you text notifications about the podcast?
No, that is not. So that group that's just our Facebook group. That's the podcasters.
Because I really love the text message stuff. I think that's
so our text message, it's on community, and let me see the service we use is community. Let me see. I forget how to sign up. Grease set it up, so that's helpful.
So is Grease the technician for your duo there?
No, he's a custodian.
Lord no.
He's a custodian.
Every once in a while, he starts something. He's like, "Hey, we're doing this," but then he doesn't tell me how to necessarily do it.
Wait a minute here. Hold on. Whoa. You're muted, Mike.
We call him Chicken Wing right now.
Bless his heart. That's Evil Knievel.
Yeah. He tried to roll a golf cart yesterday.
I didn't try to roll. Okay.
You did.
Roll.
You
succeeded. I didn't try to. I
it
succeeded.
Rolled. It rolled, but I didn't mean to roll it.
Yeah.
Well,
there was a rock
okay, buddy.
in the road. He wasn't doing donuts.
There was a rock.
Yeah. All right. Out. Yeah, that's gonna cost me a few $1,000.
Okay, so here's I figure out how to do it. If you text the word podcast to 615-488-7704.
04?
04, yeah.
615-788.
Nope, 488.
488. I hit 4 first, but I'm dyslexic.
7704. Text the word podcast, and it'll that's how you can get signed up for the text updates.
Yeah,
so watch out because Siri will auto correct that shit.
I texted Zach Jones right after he signed up, or I responded to something he texted.
Did you see what he said? Yeah, okay, I got it up.
It blew his mind.
Hey, I've got to get ready for the Livewire going live here in about.
No, you don't. You just want to eat that fucking sandwich.
I got to eat that sandwich and make sure the wife is all taken care of before all that starts. But Will, if you're ever up late and you want to stop by Livewire Pub, you're welcome to jump on, buddy.
I'd love to.
Pleasure to meet you.
Good to meet
Marty,
you too, man.
Peace, buddy. We'll see you guys.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on, Mike.
I'll be lurking. Thanks, guys.
Shane. Is that what you wanted me to put up? I just got your text. I want to make sure that we understand. Yeah. Yeah, because our distributors up this way are all Knox Beverage. Everything that comes into Northeast Tennessee is out of Knoxville, and it's crazy.
It's really in the state. The way that the distributor system is set up too is that a company can't just leave. Like Best Brands has Buffalo Trace, they can't just leave Best Brands to go to another. Like there's a whole host of contracting and licensing things that they have to jump through to be able to move. So it's not as simple, and the distributors don't necessarily want to let people direct ship because it cuts them out. So I mean,
sure.
it makes sense why it's the distributors wouldn't want it, but it doesn't necessarily help the consumer. So
yeah, no, that makes sense. Shane, if you can jump on, I'd like for you to talk a little bit about story time after when Will's done, because I think what you've got going is something pretty unique for the community.
He actually said something earlier about we should do a podcast story time pick.
Yeah,
I'd love to get in touch with you. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And that would take away, it wouldn't. What am I trying to say? Wear you and Grease out trying to get all that worked out, because Shane with story time and him and Chris and Bobby and everybody, they've really got all that, I think, taken care of. Let me do this real quick. Because I think it's very interesting when the community gets together and everybody's doing things that only helps each other, and they have the opportunity to buy stuff that normally they won't be able to get, is really where this really comes into be handy as in a community-based group. We talked about Whiskey Weekend earlier. Hey, community-based, it's about everybody getting together and having the option of trying all great whiskey that you normally wouldn't. And the friendships you develop throughout that weekend is just something you'll take on with you for the rest of your life. And I just think that's kind of what my experience was, as we call it, the slammering at Shane's house is it's like me and you sitting here tonight talking, and with Mike earlier. We know each other's face. We know our voices. We know, a whole lot about each other. But that moment when you meet face to face, that light bulb goes off. Says, there he is. Hey, there he is. It's so cool. It's just something that I never thought I would be a part of and do. And I don't know, man. It's just whiskey's now my passion, and I'm trying. I don't know if I could ever make a living at distributing it or working for somebody or something, but it's crazy. This is just totally changed. I don't know, man. It's been a lot of fun, and I don't know. I'm gonna keep riding it, dude. I'm gonna keep going, see where it goes.
I hear you.
Let's bring Shane on for just a second, Will, if you've got a little bit of time, and let's.
Sure.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Will.
How you doing? Good to see you.
Good to see you again.
Now you can see us.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh, got a good group tonight, buddy.
Well, it's just I'm a big deal, and I'm injured. Everybody feels sorry for the fat guy that's hurt.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but yeah, man, we were talking about Whiskey Weekend, Shane, and I know you've attended.
Yep, I did.
And the friendships and the relationships that you take away from it, and what a great opportunity it is. And then I know Storytime is getting ready to do the big release tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Yeah, the big launch. The release is the following week.
I'm sorry, the launch.
Pre-sale next week. Yeah. So look, Whiskey Weekend, a great event. It's the friendships and relationships truly do last a long time. Outside of having to deal with Grease for 3 days, it's a pretty good time.
Tried dealing with him since 2006.
Yeah, I can imagine. No, it's fantastic, right? I mean, I would say, not that Will and Grease aren't fantastic. I didn't get to spend a lot of time with those two, but I did get to spend some significant time with like Dixon. And what a great guy. I kind of shared with him what we were doing with Story Time, and he was very interested in being a part, and, gave me his business card and said, hey, reach out. I want to help out if I can. So that was pretty exciting. And then seeing like Mark and Sherry Carter there, I'm glad you had all the pours that you had there, but to be honest, those people there make that event worth it. The whiskey is just like an added bonus, really. So, it's a great time. Although this next one, man, that's going to be you're going to double in size again, so that's going to be interesting.
It'll be we got a lot of fun surprises for it.
Good.
And the interaction with Dan and Sean from Bourbon Junkies and Matt Porter and Chad and Sarah. It's going to be it's going to be a lot of fun. So
Good.
we've got some good surprises. We've got ways to keep it intimate and to keep the friendship and community flowing throughout it. So I'm really excited about what we've got planned and what's in store.
What's the date of that, Will? I know I should know that, but
I think the Thursday is the 31st of March, and it goes through like the 2nd or 3rd of April, 2022.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's the straddles March, April that weekend. Starts on a Thursday, ends on a Sunday.
So Shane, let's talk a little. Let's teach a little bit about story time.
Okay.
Talk about, if you can, for a second, the body of it with the community. That we talked a long time yesterday about how the community should benefit from being part of, an internal community. As I was telling Jenny about, unique membership get you certain things, or a lot of great things, I should say. Picks, the opportunity to maybe be invited to picks later in drawings.
Absolutely.
Stuff like that. I guess what I'm trying to say is I know a lot about it, and I think it gives a lot of people that don't normally would ever have the opportunity to do things like that, similar to Whiskey Weekend, the opportunity to be part of something that normally they never would be. And if I'm missing a point there, correct me, please.
No, absolutely. You're spot on. So that the heart and soul of Storytime really is the community, right? That's what we're really about. It was an idea that I kind of started propagating back in December when I saw, this community really rally around. Specifically, I'll tell you the one that really set it off for me was HBR. Like, here was a guy who decided he was going to stream every night up until Christmas. And he was just trying to build his channel, and which is all great. And that's one part of it. But what was going on in the chat just really stood out to me, right? So here was all these people that didn't know anyone from anyone, but they were connecting on a really personal level. And then needs started to come up that people found out about. And we started raising money for different people's needs and different charities. And it's like, in the midst of everything that's going on in the world today, and here's a group of people that gather around a glass of brown water that really just love on each other and care about each other and want to know more about each other. It just kind of went off in my head. It's like, wow, this is something unique and something that should serve as an example, right? So I started building this idea around story time, because of a lot of different reasons, right? You got the allocated problem that we all struggle with, where we can't get good whiskey. When you find it, it's ridiculously high priced. And so then you got to sit there and watch the 5 guys in the world that find it or whatever. That whole just that whole, I guess, culture around that creates, the FOMO and all of that thing. But yeah, here we got all these people that we want to pull in. And then I kind of dovetailed that in with the concept that, we're running out of these stories, right? We don't have any more Elmer T. Lees necessarily, right? We don't have any more dead relatives that we can pull out of the grave that have some crazy recipe. And if we do, it's very limited at best and probably fabricated at most. So we've got to start writing the history, right, for the next generation. How does this community serve as an example for really everything else? Because we transcend all political and personal agendas, and we just come together and hang out. And that to me is just amazing, right? So anyway, so Storytime Distillery, I love the idea of being able to distill and blend and do my own thing. So that's one part of it. The other part is we're doing, fantastic picks. And then when you go on a pick, you find out there's a whole nother side of this community that most people don't get to experience. And we want to share that too, right? We want people to be able to go on a pick and feel that whole experience, because it really is an experience. Even if it's the crappiest whiskey, the experience itself is like, it'll stick with you for life. sitting in a room and trying to decide on a whiskey out of a group of how many with people, and just Will, that experience is something super special, and we want everyone to be a part of that. And that's why when we went on our first pick, we opened up a spot for somebody in the community to come along with us. We paid for everything except for their travel to and from. And we want to keep doing that. Every pick that we do, we want to include somebody from the community. And then secondly, or maybe more importantly, we created a foundation that then takes 10% of all the proceeds of Storytime and starts giving back to charities and personal needs within the community. And that's all managed by a board of members that are elected from the community. So people say, yeah, I want to be on that board. And then we're going to put their names up, and then we're going to have them elected to serve a year term to sit on the board and decide where that money goes and how it gets allocated. So again, you kind of create this whole cycle and ecosystem within our own community that then takes care of itself and continues to foster and grow and get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then hopefully one day I'll have a really good whiskey that I will have distilled and I'll be able to share that with everybody too. So that's a lot to say, but that's what it is.
Well, that's cool, man. That's good. So tomorrow is I said it wrong, the launch of the website. Is that right?
Yeah. So tomorrow membership goes active. So, you guys were talking a little bit about licensing and distribution. So we've partnered.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Did I get that up, Shane? I hope I fixed what you were telling me.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
I'll revisit it. It doesn't really matter. So we've partnered with an organization that's helping us to be able to ship pretty much everywhere. I promise you, if you're part of our club, you will get what you pay for, no matter where you're at. And we even have international shipping all worked out. So it's exciting in that regard. The way you get around a lot of the rules and stuff that govern it, and it's not that you get around it, but it's just kind of the work in, is you create a club like the podcast group, or in this case, Storytime, that allows us to give you whiskey to basically gift it to you or allow you to acquire it without a lot of licensing, while I'm in the process of getting my importer and my wholesaler license that's in process now. So we expect to have that done in about 3 months. Distiller's license will be about 4 months time frame, and that's when I'll be buying a still. But yeah, that's what's really going to make this super cool. Is we're actually already done a lot of the infrastructure stuff, getting the network set up to allow us to get these whiskeys to people.
Well, I hate to do this.
Can you put up what Liberty license said one more time, please?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to weigh in on this as well. Shane said that he's like, I didn't necessarily get to spend a lot of time with Will and Grease at Whiskey Weekend, but I had numerous conversations with Shane, and this is not the same human. Just want to put that out there. We had quite a few conversations. I know exactly where we were in the ballroom at different places, and would have never been able to tell you this is the same guy. But love both Shanes.
Well, let me say this real quick. I'm more thrilled, but the other part of me hates to do this to Will. But hold on a second.
Oh Lord.
You ain't got a daggum worry about Will right now, Marty.
Grease, why do you ruin everything for
What
me?
on God's green earth? Oh, my name's Shane. Hang on a second. We're going to code this thing correctly so that we can distribute the orders appropriately across the spectrum of the United States of America. Oh, my God!
I was having so much fun, without you for once, and you had to ruin it.
Hey, Marty asked me twice. I turned him down the first time. Let me go ahead and tell you something. You don't want to turn Marty down.
No,
That's
you
true.
get your damn ass whipped.
Hey,
Yeah.
I got to tell you, the most disappointing part of Whiskey Weekend, I never saw Grease take a rip off that flask I gave him.
Oh, the giant one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in the Nook. It's right there.
I never got to see him take a rip up.
Oh, shit.
That is a man's flask.
That's something you can take and piss in.
I've literally gone to third base with this thing, dude. And I'm telling you right now, I would much rather do that than eat these dadgum things while drinking whiskey. That's dadgum sure.
Shoot.
He said he went to third base with that thing, and I can confirm the opening
Hell, that
at the
is
top
a
of that
base.
flask is about precise for grease. So
It's the size of a base.
You're talking about home, buddy.
oh, whoops.
That
I
opening
I
is
think we were talking about two different sports.
Woo! How y'all doing, man? Will, I caught only a little bit of it, but you sounded really sweet and great.
Will's killer, man.
I was
Will,
in a good mood until you got on here.
Will is no. Will is
Will's face. Will's like, I'm gonna kill Marty the next
No,
time
Will's
I see
blue.
him. I will never do shit for Whiskey Nose ever again.
No,
Dude,
no,
Will's
now
blue
I have to.
in
I have
my
to
house.
come back with like a guaranteed clause that he's.
That's right. There's no extra emails with links going out.
Uh-huh. We're gonna have a locked show.
Gonna put that on your rider, Will.
Yeah,
That's right.
Only blue M&Ms and no grease. That's
What the hell's that with the blue lid? Is that vodka?
Oh, no, I was just going to cover up some important information, but it's always cool to have a bottle that says mystery bourbon on it from Saddleback.
Nice.
This is what Grease does. He gets on. He has to showboat.
I didn't
What is-
showboat nothing.
Hold
I
on,
actually
time
hit
out.
a bunch of information.
Hold on. What is the gray wax?
Hey, you zip it. Marty, don't you talk about that bottle. Put it down, Grease.
Is
Oh,
that
dude.
the one I'm going to end up going to buy, Shane?
Wait a second.
No, that's the one that's there. Listen, here's a little insider story. Gonna let it fly right now. That bottle is amazing.
Oh, shit.
And I mean amazing.
Will, I can. So I opened it last night. There's another one upstairs. It is right here. Drank that mother down last night, dude. It's so good.
Just a little inside story too. I bought the remaining 2 barrels of that. There is no more on the planet, my friend.
How do you buy those barrels?
You gotta know.
That's how. I'm sorry, Shane. I couldn't help it.
Dude, Marty.
What is it? I've
Marty
never even
just went
seen it.
full on Matt Madness tourney right there.
It's obtanium finished in Goliath Kentucky bourbon barrel stout.
What's approved? 150?
No.
No, it's 102.8.
Yeah.
So it's
But
a
it's-
drinker. It's a drinker.
Oh, it's a
So
drinker.
good.
I can't wait.
It
I can't wait for Will to have it.
it swings in the same league as Old Carter Batch 6 American. It swings in that same space.
Yeah, all I know is it's beautiful. I haven't
is.
had.
I won't get to try it tomorrow because we're doing remote tomorrow.
We are doing it tomorrow. Yeah, we are doing remote tomorrow. We're having our wives on tomorrow.
Yeah, I told him it'd be the best ratings ever for the podcast.
Yeah, Mike, did you see the junkies the other night with
Yeah.
Dan and his wife? They had like 1,200
800
people on there.
Yeah. What a bad. I told him, man, you should have done a giveaway.
Those are just all the people that feel sorry for him because you whooped him so bad.
Well, I think we are actually going to do a giveaway. With
Yeah,
our
we're
wives,
doing
right?
we're doing our last like not our last one, but we thought we would do a couple here before the decanters launch in the store. Pretty much,
and
we're
it's,
giving away another one of
if
these.
people
and
are
it
going to
may
be
or
able
may
to
not come with
ask
something.
questions,
Bro.
right? Through
Bring that
Super
back.
Chat.
Grease.
Yeah. So every super chat or whatever tomorrow night is going to get to ask a question, which Lord only knows. I mean,
Show
we
the
get to say
decanter
yes.
again, Grease.
What?
Bring the decanter back over.
Oh, I'm sorry, boo.
That's all right. No.
Samantha goes, "Are they going to be mature about
There
it?"
you go. The Grease.
And these are and we customize them for you. So you can put whatever you want in there. Yeah, you darn right, Zachary Jones. Dude, Zachary either loves me or hates me, man.
He loves to hate you, like most of us.
Right. I feel like I could charge him $100 and he would pay it just to hang out with me shirtless for an hour. But then if I turned my back on him, he would stab me.
Yeah, probably.
No, if you turned your back on him, he'd tattoo it.
Is he a tattoo artist?
Something like that.
Tattoo his name on it.
Is he
I
a
think he'd
tattoo
tase
artist?
you.
Oh, shit. That's not me.
That was
here.
the best. That was the best. Oh shit.
I didn't send it.
Hey, y'all want to see something awesome? I was going to show it on our show, but I guess I'll tease it right here.
This is
Oh,
literally
yeah,
what
I
Grease
saw
does. Grease gets on. We were having a nice, lovely conversation, and Grease just says, "Let me just
Show you
show off."
something.
Okay, tell him how much you paid for this 5-year bourbon, Grease.
Yeah, so this is a 5-year bourbon from Tennessee.
With a Monopoly race car piece on top.
Right. And there's a fly in here, and I'm about to beat the shit.
Tell him how much you paid for that 5-year bourbon.
$300.
Well, $250 was the box, probably.
Exactly.
No, I'm pretty sure this thing right here up top. This thing. Dadgummit, why can't
Is that a Jeep or a what is that?
It's a,
I'm
it's
trying
a
to
race
show you.
car
Hang on.
from
There
like
you go. Slow.
1910.
Right there, Ho.
Yeah.
Race
It's
car. That's
a
it.
Monopoly style race car.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Glad you didn't
and I
try to
don't. I
expense
thought
that.
borchetta was a cheese.
What's their value proposition in that, Grease?
They find idiots like Grease and that will pay $300 for 5-year whiskey.
It wasn't even labeled. Will it wasn't even labeled on the shelf? I take it up there to ring up, and he goes. I was like, "What's the price on that?" By the way, he goes, $2.99. He goes, "Do you still want it?" I said, "Yeah."
Such an idiot.
I'm literally the worst.
Yeah.
I'm the worst.
And he turned around and looked at the other guy working behind the counter and said, "We got another one, boys."
Oh, well, so it was a lady. Her name was Lana, and I'm pretty sure she went to the back and like spit taked whatever she was drinking on for sure.
Lana's the greatest, by the way, and
Lana
Grease is the worst.
Is the greatest. I am the worst.
Well, I have to admit, Grease, you and I are united in the fact that we both bought those Derringers around the same time.
Oh, dude, I bought 2 of them.
Did you?
I bought 2 of them so I didn't have to open one because I knew Will would make me open one.
Yeah, that stuff is hot garbage.
Oh, dude, it tastes like pine.
Yeah,
I've never known a whiskey
you know what?
just to taste like
That's offensive to pine.
mint pine.
It's pretty bad. But the decanter is badass.
Yes.
It's kind of like buying the Woodford Baccarat, right? You're paying for the crystal. You're not paying for the juice. Yeah, look at that. That's just sexy as hell.
Like who doesn't want to take that downtown? You know what I'm talking about?
Okay, I'm just gonna throw this out here. My first instinct when I see that is I feel like I have to go pee.
Yep.
I've got to go stick it in something and pee. It's like I'm on the side of the road and I have an Aquafina bottle.
Oh,
And that's all
my
I got. That's it. That's what that's it.
Yeah, and that actually is to scale Grease right there, by the way.
Oh, the
Oh
cork.
yeah, dude.
The cork is to scale. It's Grease. It's a perfect replica.
Wow.
Short and stubby.
Yeah,
like
there's a
Derringer.
story one time, but this would have been a Powerade bottle. I'm not going to go into it.
Absolutely. Hey, there's
Will's like, please don't.
have y'all
fun
seen
tonight.
that damn thing?
Until
Have y'all
this.
seen that thing you can buy on Amazon that you stick in a water bottle to piss in? Have you seen that?
No.
It's an actual contraption that you stick in the damn water bottle and it's like opened up and you just sit there and hold on a minute, I'm gonna find it.
Oh God.
I about fell over. I was like, this is real.
I used to see like in the Sky Mall magazine, they'd have like the fake golf club you could pee into, like if you're out on the golf course.
Y'all, y'all had decent constructive content tonight. I get on here and I make
so
a daggone
upset.
ripple in the water and freaking Marty's taking it to like daggum like sex toy with a water bottle situation.
Hold on a minute. I'm gonna find this son
It's
of a
just
bitch.
called a urinal grease.
I'm gonna buy it. I really am. I'm gonna have it in the car. It's called a funnel, Whiskey Nose. You're old enough to remember those. Damn right. The Buse is loose. Oh, it's not very big around, but it's short. That's right. So Shane, what you need to do, man, I think it's a great idea. Story time and the podcast. Do some picks, man.
That'd be
It'd
awesome.
be fun.
I
Yeah,
think
we'd love to.
that trying to get it drawn back into
We got
consciousness
we
here.
got some big ones coming up.
Is
We
that
got
that
approach.
thing Klein shared the other day?
Yes.
What on God's green? What is happening right now? I
Hey,
don't even.
Grease, you can watch back when this is over because Shane did a
interesting?
great job explaining it.
He did.
Yeah. Well, he used words you wouldn't understand, but
Well, buddy, you got my phone number and I got yours. If you want, I will text you to refresh my phone number, and I'll be more than happy to
No,
talk
no.
to
I
you.
think I think I got you in there.
But I will gladly look. I'd love to let you guys know what's going on. I'd love to get you guys support.
Hey,
and get you involved.
7159, right?
Yep.
I got you.
last 4 digits is the social, please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was it.
I listen to this shit. I can't make this up. I went to give blood on Friday, and this guy was from out of town, and he just wanted to come and give blood, and it was at lunchtime. And she asked for the last 4 of his social. His last 4 was one number at the end before mine.
Mm.
And I was looking at my phone, and I was like, and he said, she goes, last 4 of your social, and he read it off, and I went, huh? And I was like, and he goes, what? And I said, dude, mine is, and I told him what mine was. And I was like, holy shit.
Like, so was he the same age? Like, is that how they do it?
No. He was like 8 years younger than me.
It's just random.
It was just, random as hell.
Okay.
Yeah.
My wife
He's
and I
a fellow
share
from
5
out of
numbers.
town, and he came in, and he had a very
It's true.
similar social
Yeah.
number. And the next day, there were 6 mortgages taken out in my name.
And I told him, I said, I need to see your wallet.
Is that what we're calling it now?
Yeah, that's it. The wallet. Agrees, easy, man. Hey, easy. Reel that shit in.
Shane, I didn't hear your spiel, but I'm gonna watch it back and then I'm gonna call you.
Please
No.
do.
No,
What
what he's
about
actually going to do?
$1
Not watch it back and then
million?
call you, because that's how Grease rolls.
Yeah. And hey, I'm going to do another slammering here in a few months, probably.
That's awesome, Sam.
I'd love to have you come by if you're interested.
What's a slammering?
So
Oh my God. Can I take this? Can
Yes,
I run
please
with
take
this
it.
one?
Run with
A
it.
slammering is you just feel free to pick a few bottles that are behind you, and we all go to. Now is this going to be remote, Shane? Let me get that
No,
clarified. Are we
the
going?
next one's probably going to be at my house too.
Okay, so we are going to go to right outside Charlotte, North Carolina, and Shane has this unbelievable bar at the pool that had. Okay, just give you a quick rundown. It has its own heat pump, and it has a bathroom, and it overlooks the pool and the hot tub, and bunch of us get together, we bring bottles, and like Shane says, literally nothing on the bar is off limits. Just let's talk about it, let's drink, let's get on a live stream between somebody's channel. We're there for 2 or 3 days. We all stay at Shane's house because he's got 782,000 acres, and there's room for tents over here. There's a campfire going here. There's some
That number checks out.
There's some pole dancers over here. Then there'll be Grease over here, running around. But no, it's amazing. It really is. And there's a bunch of it. It's all whiskey tube. It's all the community. And Shane cooks. It's just, I don't know, man. It's unbelievable.
All right.
Zach.
Well,
Zach just said there's a bathroom in the pool. He's clearly never been to a pool before, because the
All
pool
big bathrooms.
is the bathroom. Idiot.
No,
But
there's
what
a
I miss,
bathroom
Shane,
attached
I mean-
to the bar.
Talk about, Will, we were talking earlier about, the Whiskey Weekend and Grease. We talked about it 2 weeks ago that, we have these relationships like we have created tonight between us, that once you get that face-to-face interaction, you're like, oh, okay, there he is.
oh yeah.
that's what happens when you get out of the car in the driveway. Everybody comes out together and like, oh my God, there's Bird Ben, there's Mike, there's Shane, it's awesome. That's just.
I think if there's anything that came out of 2020 pandemic, I honestly do think it was just the utilization of Zoom, like the popularity of Zoom and StreamYard and all these things that bring groups of people together in a a more face-to-face thing. Even just across, because before, we did these like virtual barn night things, and we started off with Google Meet or whatever. We could only have 10 at a time. It was ridiculous and crazy and blah, 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 blah. But the only time we really got to see a lot of the people that we had relationships with was a couple of events a year. And then, and then COVID hits and the shutdown and all this other stuff. And I buy Zoom and everybody else buys Zoom. And then all of a sudden you're, just, and those relationships actually got bigger and better.
Yeah, I'll tell you the coolest moment of that whole weekend was really, the saddest and the coolest at the same time. Everyone's leaving, and there's a bunch of grown men in my driveway all hugging each other like we're all, the cast of Stand By Me or something.
I left early, so I wasn't part of the hugging.
Yeah, we got rid of him quick, and so then we were able to have a good time.
Well, he brings on people like Grease when he's not invited, so I understand why you'd get rid of him quickly.
But on my property, on the back of my property, there's a 3,000 square foot building, and that's going to be basically the distillery. So I'm going to be housing some barrels back there. I'm going to have some mixing tank and bottle filler and all that good fun shit. So, yeah.
So there's
I don't know what that means. All right, I do got to go help my wife put down the kid. That sounds bad.
Get them to bed.
Put them down. They've been.
I gotta go help my wife put my kids down. She's real pissed.
Well, you got to keep her happy for tomorrow.
Shane, love you.
Tomorrow's
Will.
I'm
too,
sorry, buddy. Marty. Anytime, baby.
I know. Hey. All right, now let's get back to the good stuff.
Well, that means I need to jump off.
Oh, you're good, man.
I feel out of place. I don't carry the star power. Hey, Will, did you see my video I did?
It's going to be a no.
That's a strong no.
Well, also, you got to give me more context.
So, all right, hold on
my
a minute.
YouTube video. I've only done. I'm not a YouTube creator per se, but I've done one video and only one video.
No, I haven't seen it. I'll have to go check it out.
Hey, if DC's still in the chat, I don't know if DC's going over to Chad and Sarah.
At Lord Schlong? Is that where I need to go find it?
Yeah, it's Lord. I think it's Lord Schlong.
Well, hold on a minute. I got it. I'll do it.
Hey, if you want to laugh, that's all I was going for. Just a good laugh.
Yeah, I'll go check it out after this.
I think it's funny.
Yeah, I'll put it. I'll send it to you, Will. It's awesome.
Can't wait.
Adam says bye, Grease.
I'm gonna jump off here, seriously. Let you have the floor. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna talk to Will for a second, then we're gonna call it an evening.
It was good talking to you, Shane, and we'll be in touch offline shortly.
Absolutely. Thank you. See you.
Will, thanks, man.
Yeah.
This has been awesome. I told Grease, I said, dude, if you want to hop on, we got to just mess with Will for a few minutes. You can blame me 100%. It's cool. I love the podcast, man.
We appreciate it, man.
I love you guys. And guys, everybody in the chat, we still got almost 40 people hanging out, still late. Get on the podcast and sub, and their Patreon is awesome. And we talked about earlier the text messages you get when anything's happening with the podcast. Even if Grease is driving in the car, he'll want to tell you about it. And it's a lot of fun. So, guys, please sub and do all that for those guys. And if you haven't subbed to Whiskey Nose, man, jump on it.
And throw some thumbs up while you're watching here. We know that y'all are watching, and it's a super easy thing to do and helps out more than you know. Go ahead and hit that.
Yeah, and their merchandise, guys, is killer.
I love that shirt. So
I do too. It fits perfect.
She's been to every whiskey weekend, and lives in Washington State. She's a great lady, stay-at-home mom, runs a small business that does the merch for us, and she does it. We've actually put her in touch with a lot of people that have whiskey clubs and stuff as well, because we just want her to do well also. And so she'll make stuff for whiskey clubs, like the patch hats and things like that. But she comes up with these designs, and I think they're killer. That's my favorite shirt, the one that you're wearing.
I tell you this, Will, I don't remember. It was, you remember, hell, you'll probably remember when I said it. It was probably a week and a half ago. Well, I guess it'd have to be 2 weeks ago tomorrow. Y'all were live, and I said, well, shit, I'm drunk now because I just ordered a T-shirt. And I swear to you, in 6 days, I had it. And that's coming from Washington State, man. I mean, it's just like, boom. She emailed me.
This week, we were doing something, and she goes, hey, my family's going camping, so, orders may be a few days late. I'm like, Melissa, you're the fastest shipping anywhere. Like,
hands down.
I go, so you are okay. Do not worry about that. You're awesome. People are.
I mean, the chat is blowing up. Melissa's the best. Melissa's the best.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so
yeah. We can also, if you have a whiskey club and you're watching or something, and you want to look into getting stuff, does great work. It's affordable. You can email her directly at info@thepodcast.com. We'd love for you to buy our merch, but if you have a club and you want to get merch made or do something, I'd love for you to support her and her business that she does. So info@thepodcast.com, and you can get in touch with her. Or if you have like this hat, we have our metal hat, right? So it's a familiar logo, but says the podcast. One of our buddies, Jason, who was watching earlier, he had this logo on a gray and black hat. Like, so she'll do custom orders too of the merch you see if you have a different idea. So yeah, check that out.
There you go, Cody. Just like what Cody says, man.
Yep.
No, I mean, as soon as I made the order, I think it was, late, I guess Monday night, Tuesday, she emailed me. She goes, Marty, it's on its way. And I was like, my God, she's emailing me. So I'm emailing her. Hey, Melissa, when do you talk about doing this for Whiskey Nose? And she's like, hey, let me know. So yeah, guys, just jump on it, man, because the stuff is good. It's real and it'll last. And she's awesome. And you'll get it within a very quick amount of time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Awesome.
Well, Will, thank you, man, so much for coming on. I'm just thrilled to have you. The podcast is one of my favorites. Whiskey Weekend is getting bigger every single year. And what I think I want everybody to take from our conversation with you and Grease a couple of weeks ago, not so much tonight because, Grease didn't really count tonight. But no, what I want everybody to take from Whiskey Weekend is it's not about the tastings you're going to get, because there's a lot of that. It's about the relationships you're going to make with everybody that's there.
Right.
And to me, that's why we're here. That's why we do this. That's why we spend the time and the money. That's why we have the Patreons, just to build this up so everybody can get closer related in our whiskey journey. So, Will, thank you so much, man. I'm just honored and thrilled to have you and Grease on, and so hopefully we'll get together soon and keep this thing trucking, buddy. So if there's
let us know when you're in town too. We'll have some.
I will. Yeah, I'll send you a message and we'll get together, and we may jump on a stream or something. Who knows? But guys, like I said before, the podcast, not cast. It ends with a K, like what's behind Will in the background back there. Get on their sub, get their shirts, join their Patreon, because it's real, it's awesome, and it's a lot of fun. So, guys, thank you all for watching Will tonight. Will, thanks, man. I'm going to hang out for a little bit.
Awesome.
Talk to a few people, but thanks, buddy. And if there's anything we can do for you in the future, thanks, man. Cheers, buddy.
Thanks. Cheers.
All right, man. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Tim Evans. That was awesome, man. I mean, I'm fortunate to have great people on like Will. Grease, not so much. No, I'm just kidding. Grease is awesome. Shane and Klein, all these guys are getting this story time off the ground and running. And let me pop these out because I'm yelling. Once everything gets moving with the launch of the website and the memberships and everything tomorrow for story time, I think things will open up and give you a better understanding of exactly what's going on there. There's a whole lot that's been done in probably the last 4 months for Storytime that have fallen into place, and a lot of people are asking a whole lot of questions, and it gets difficult. It gets difficult for Shane. It gets difficult for Klein. It gets difficult for me because I'm associated with them to answer these questions. It gets hard for Mike Stahl and Adam from Livewire because some of us don't know the answers, and those answers will come as the distillery grows. And like Shane touched on at the end, which really, really thrilled me, is there's going to be a distillery. There's going to be some whiskey made. There's going to be some sourcing there that goes into bottles. And to me, that's what it's about. It's about let's keep making good shit. I mean, let's keep it happening. I mean, this is only going to get bigger and better, and the community is what does it. I've said for months that and it frustrates me. I'm getting on a soapbox here for a second. It frustrates me that I have so many people in my life that depend on me to get this stuff here that don't understand what's going on here. They have no concept of what we're doing right now. They don't understand the community. I mean, there's everybody in the chat here I just about know. I mean, every single person here I just about know. And that's the community. That's the thing, man. It's hard for me to, like I said, to explain to these people outside the whiskey community on YouTube and our Instagram family and Facebook friends what we do. And, Will and Grease is a portion of that. Matt Porter's a portion of it. Storytime Distillery is a portion of it. Livewire Whiskey is a huge portion of it because Livewire Whiskey, the reason I support them so much is, number one, they're dear friends of mine, Adam and Mike. But that is an open pub to where if you ever want to get online and be part of it, there you go. I didn't have that when I started, 6-8 months ago. There wasn't, or I'm sure there was, but they didn't know me. But we all grew together. So anyway, enough of me preaching. I was going to wait, but this Larceny Barrel Proof is freaking good. And this is the B521. And I have drank that much of it. So I'm within the neck pour. Oh, my goodness. No kidding, man. No kidding. Samurai, thanks, man. I appreciate that. You said something earlier. Hold on a minute. No, I don't. I found one yesterday. Let me tell the story. Thanks, Tim Evans. I really appreciate that, man. I've got a guest. I'll share it with everybody here in just a second. Let me talk for a second to what I did yesterday. Hell yeah, Nick, you got that right. That's right. I decided to drive to Knoxville yesterday. It's about an hour and 20 minutes. There's a great store there called Christie's that I love, that I can find some really good stuff that's huge in the whiskey community. They have Redwood Empires. They have great store picks. They have all kinds of Knob Creek 120 proofs. They've got 12-year knobs. They've got Obtainium light whiskey. They've got Obtainium finished whiskey. They've got several Nassau reserves. So I was like, you know what? They're going to get that Canadian 27 year. They're going to have it. Left out of here at 9 o'clock yesterday morning. Drove down there. Got there about 10:30. Walked in the door, picked it up, took it to the counter. Started patting my no wallet. I said, hold on, I'll be right back. Go to the car. No wallet. Called Jenny. Yep, it's sitting right here. Go back in. Do you do Apple Pay? No, I'm sorry. But we'll hold it for you. Drove an hour and 20 minutes, half a tank of gas, and I left with nothing but heartache. But from what I've been told, I'm not missing nothing, and that's okay. So that was probably a good thing that that didn't work out. So that's okay. No big deal. No big deal. There's, like I said, they make this stuff every day, something new, and I'll try to get us one of those bottles off Shane, the new finished one that has the gray wax. Oh, dude, man, this right here, man, I popped that. I basically broke the tendon, or snapped the tendon in the top when I was getting in a chair or in a booth, and it was a padded seat. When I pushed down, that padded seat gave out, and the thing bent, and I heard it pop. Shit, whatever. I'll go to the orthopedic tomorrow. But no, guys, this larceny, man, I'm really surprised. I've passed on it multiple times, but it's really good. I like it. What I need to do, if not all the other channels have done it yet, I need to compare it with a 121 something. What's the closest Elijah Craig barrel proof that's closest to 121, because they're both Heaven Hill? We need to do those together. Yeah, it's not. And I tell you what, Dustin, I called Shane as soon as I got back in the car, and I said, dude, yeah, I know. It's all right. It just keeps me from having to play golf. So I called Shane. I told him what I did. And of course, we laughed, and he told me what a dumbass I was for about 10 minutes. Well, probably about 30 minutes now that I think about it. But we talked about it, and I was like, you know what? He's like, dude, you made a good pass. It's because it's okay. It's good. You know, it's 27 year, and we all know that 15 years is really about the max of anything. He goes, you were just going to pay a whole lot of money to have something unique on your shelf. And he goes, did you really want to do that? And I said, no, not really. So I think I did. I escaped okay. Yeah, you're right. It's not coming that often. That's right, man. God, you know, man, I used to hunt back when all my relatives were, my great uncles and my grandparents were still alive. We had a 42-acre private place up in Southwest Virginia that all the way around it was national forest, dude. It was crazy. And then when all my great uncles died off, my great aunt sold it off as a horse farm. They brought in machines and took out every tree in there. Craziness. So anybody drinking anything now? Let's talk about it. We've got a few minutes before Livewire gets crazy. Oh, I was going to share something. Let me share what I was going to tell everybody. It's not in stone yet, but what we're going to do on Whiskey Knows, I've got some good shit coming, man. Let me see here. Let me bring it up so I can tell you about it. I have Adam, the owner, what am I trying to say? The master distiller. I don't know exactly what Adam's title is, but I know he is the head blender, the head chief, the big elf, the head Indian, the big poncho. You ready? You ready? Because I'm ready. From Smoke Wagon, coming on Whiskey Knows. Boom, there you go. You heard it right here. Smoke Wagon. Adam from Smoke Wagon's coming on Whiskey Knows. We're going to talk Smoke Wagon. We're going to talk about future Smoke Wagons. We're going to talk about the fucking bottles. We're going to talk about the wax. We're going to talk about the blends. We're going to talk about him picking barrels. We're going to talk about what he's got on site. We're going to talk about everything Smoke Wagon, and I can't wait. And I hope to be able to do a really good giveaway that night. I don't have that date in stone yet. Adam emailed me back yesterday and told me to email so-and-so. And literally his response was, thank you, and I absolutely love doing things like this. Please email me, blah, 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 to figure out a date. So I sent that email right off the bat. So hopefully, baby, it's going to happen real soon. Desert Jewel, DC said. I've got the sample behind me. Yeah, guys, we're going to do Chug Life with Mike and Adam Shits and Stall at 10 o'clock. We've got about 3 minutes. Get some of those private. Hell, dude, if I could, I'm going to hit him up for a couple autographed bottles, And if I can get an autographed bottle from him, that to me is what I'm going to do for the giveaway. But let's see here. I need to thank a couple people. Real quick, guys. Hang on just a second. Daniel B, thank you. Dan O, 3249 for joining Patreon. I appreciate that, man. I need you to let me know in chat or in email if you prefer a Glen or a Kinsey glass, because I'm going to send them to everybody that's a Patreon member. Guys, if you haven't joined Patreon, do so. It only helps my channel. We're trying to get a new camera so we can do different effects. We're not far away. Everybody that joins Patreon gets a whiskey nose glass right off a shot. I don't mess around, and I'm going to throw a really cool, I don't know where they go. I've got some good whiskey nose stickers. So, yeah, man, everybody that joins, I don't give a shit if you've been a member for a week or 3 months. Everybody's going to get a glass. So join Patreon if you can. I'd really appreciate it. It only helps us, which is badass. What else do I know? Coming up, oh, hell, we've hit 340 subs. Thank you guys so much. Coming up, I think it's September 5th, me and Shayla, Whiskey Central, going to do some tasting. Hope to do some scotch with her because she's a whole lot better palate on scotch than me, but I love scotch and I'm getting into it. Me and Cameron, we're going to do something coming up. We don't have a date yet. He's got to get married and get the honeymoon and all that sex stuff out of the way, so we'll get that going soon. Trevor, Bourbon Wrench, we're going to do, he's got my samples. His samples are on his way to me. We've done store picks that we have the exact same store picks, but different, his store, my store, same bottle, Eagle Rare. We're going to do that together, hopefully in the next month. Me and Scotty from My Bourbon Journey, we're going to do a Tuesday stream on his stream here soon. I'm trying to think what else. I'm missing some stuff, but that's okay. I'll post it as soon as I can remember. Working on the website, the Whiskey Nose website. Mike and Adam are helping me after they've released the Livewire Whiskey website. Guys, go to Livewire Whiskey, order your Chug Life shirts. They're awesome. They're helping me just get everything in one place because it's hard. This has gotten hard with everything going. Subscribe to Bourbon. Bourbon's doing some great live streams. Bourbon's awesome about going in liquor stores in his area and just video it and ask them, you got anything in the back? No, we do not. Whatever. But it's pretty cool, man. Let me think what else. Anyway, guys, y'all know me. I'll tell you as soon as I get some stuff set up. Whiskey Dictionary. We got something coming together probably October, November. The Black Bourbon family. We've talked. We may have something coming October, November. I'm trying to think if that's it. Right now, I think that's it. I don't have any. I just did a Woodford Reserve barrel pick, but we got an email saying that Woodford has stopped all double oaked barrel picks at the moment. You've already sent the freaking boxes and samples out. How do you stop it? Why would you stop it? Anyway, Woodford Reserve. But anyway, that's what's happening right now. So everybody, if you haven't subbed yet, please do. We're over 340. Thank you all so much. That's amazing. I'm trying to think. I think we're caught up on everything. Daniel B., thank you for joining Patreon, guys. If you haven't joined Patreon, do so. I appreciate it. If not, no worries. I love you all the same. Let's all kick it. I will be back Friday, probably around 4:15, 4:30 for kickoff the weekend at Whiskey Nose. Email me, whiskeynose@gmail.com. If you got any questions, concerns, or prayer requests, because that's what I do, let me know, and we'll take care of that. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining. Thanks, Will. Thanks, Grease. Thanks, Shane. Thank you, Mike Stahl from Livewire Whiskey. I'll try to do better to get more guests, as in people in the community on when I have people join in. So, But guys, thank you. I'll see you Friday and next Sunday. So let's all join over on Livewire Whiskey. Love you guys. Thank you all so much.